there, Jax. My name is Dylan Patterson. I'm the Sustainable Landscapes Intern with the Sustainability Office here at IUPUI. Thanks for checking out this video in our Arbor Day celebration series.
And hi, I'm Jesse Beck. I'm Campus Grounds Program Manager with Campus Facility Services. So we're going to kick it off talking about Ball Gardens. This is one of the most historic sites here on campus. This garden was designed in the 1920s by Olmsted firm with famous landscape architects. So we have first Ball Hall, which was originally built as a nurse's dormitory back in the 1920s. And this area was a convalescent garden, so a place for the quiet reflection, relax after being in the hospital for patients. Kind of the key feature here is the statue of Eve, though given by the nurses the nickname of Flo for Florence Nightingale. This is where nurses and students would gather, graduation pictures. And this area was recently restored by campus, was in disrepair for quite some time. It's kind of a show place at campus with our beautiful arbor, landscape, kind of spinning with that historic design from the 20s, along with many of our oldest and most iconic trees. Right, so looking through Ball Gardens and some of our oldest trees on campus, we have a pair of American beech trees, or Ficus grandifolia. So one of the neatest things about these trees are, when they're native, they grow these massive wide canopies. And this one in particular, a branch off this one has grown into and fused with the other, making it a very unique feature. They're definitely a great tree. They do face some disease issues. I had a fungal issue last year, but these are original to the gardens. So these are close to 100-year-old trees. And there's some other ones here in Ball Gardens. So we have a couple American elm, which have managed to survive Dutch elm disease. And then one of my favorites, we have a giant sycamore here with the white flaky bark. Well, because the awesome thing about trees is what you see here, like that little tree, that branch, that's always going to be the same height. They don't grow up. So it just adds more mass to itself over time.
Oh.
So you think about like a pile of sand. So you have the tip of the sand and you're just each year dropping more on. So it just adds and grows out. So the branch height is always going to be that branch height.
Okay.
So that's what's really, really neat. Like what you do today influences trees for the next 100 years.
Wow.
And we're here at Wood Fountain Plaza. This is one of our key green spaces here on campus. So Wood Fountain was completed in 1996. Kind of a iconic structure. You'll see many students, the pictures taken at this graduation. It's a great place with the tables and chairs to come and study, especially on a spring day or late summer when kids get back to school. The honey locust trees that surround us will fill in a nice dappled shade. So it's a very relaxing, calming place to be on campus. The trees here where people often hammock. The trees are beautiful, the white flowers. Unfortunately, these are calorie pears. Calorie pears are now known to be highly invasive. These were brought over from China many years ago. Though recently, in the last couple of decades, they've been shown to be invasive. So here on campus, we're doing our part to try to remove these trees by eventually planting more kind of in front of us to establish a new tree canopy and infill these so that the pear trees can be removed eventually while not affecting the experience of the green space. But no, it's great to see people out here hammocking and enjoying the green space. That's why we try to make these places for people. So what makes the pear tree so invasive? So it gives off a lot of fruits. They're, maybe the size of like a ping pong ball. The birds eat them when they spread the seeds through defecation. So you end up with a lot of the pears around like utility right-of-ways and vacant fields. So they're quite prolific, they grow quickly. Of course, that growing quickly is part of the downfall because they split easily. And unfortunately, they're starting to revert back to their more original form. In China, they have these giant thorns. These thorns, when they develop on the trees, will puncture tractor tires, so making it hard to remove them from places. So they're becoming highly invasive. Indiana tried to put them on the terrestrial plant rule, There's some pushback that needs to be more science before that's put on. So we started traditional plant rule, I guess it was approved for April last year. So it limits the sale of 40 different species here in Indiana. The hope is eventually get the pears on them.
So Jesse, what makes an invasive plant or tree invasive?
Yeah, so what makes something invasive is either it expands, one way rapidly via the root system with rhizomes growing underground. There's a plant called a mile a minute that grows, I think it's something like 10 feet up to like in a couple weeks. So you expand out. So things like that is one way it's invasive. Some things are for like kudzu. It grows very rapidly, but then it grows up and over plants. So it'll grow up and over the trees in the forest and smother them out. And it's very hard to kill. Another way, like the pear trees we have all over campus behind us, beautiful white blooming, they create a lot of seed that then birds eat. Through their droppings, those seeds get spread, and so they grow very quickly and then produce more seed. So they overtake open fields, utility right away. As long as you look at along the interstate or railroad passages in springtime, you'll see all kinds of white blooming trees, and it's all the pears. So invasive just means it's kind of not native to here and grows rapidly in some way, whether it's through seed or smothering out other plants. And so it competes against our natives and overtakes the area. And you have things also you'll see commonly as a ground cover, winter creeper euonymus. The winter creeper, it'll grow up the trunks of trees. It'll choke out native plants. That's kind of what makes it so deadly. So what makes plants invasive? They're not from this area, so their growing conditions and the other plants they compete against were quite different. So many of the ones we have, like the Asian bush honeysuckle, kudzu, the pear tree, are from Southeast Asian countries. The plants, say the competition, also insects and other diseases that would attack them, didn't necessarily come with them. So they have a competitive advantage against our native plants that necessarily grow slower. So in forest areas you get a lot of honeysuckle growing. It grows so rapidly it smothers out the more native plants. So it has some little dogwood, redbuds, things of that nature. They can't quite compete. This is a thornless honey locust, so related to like the black locust. So it's a man-created cultivar that they had found. It was a limb that didn't have thorns on it, and they were able to then cultivate and create more of the same thornless honey locust. The problem with these can be though, since they're all genetically the same, you don't build the kind of genetic variations that can help protect the species.
And is that why they got the disease that they have?
So the problem with stressing this area tends to be very moist, so the soil is continually damp. The trees don't really like those soil conditions, so it causes a lot of stress on them.
So you have to be very strategic about where you plant certain species of trees.
So the Missouri Botanical Gardens is a great resource for information about various trees and plants in general. So it can give you some idea of what soil conditions, what soil types. Do they like full sun? Do they prefer more understory tree like a dogwood where they need a little protection? So the right plant in the right place is always a very important concept to remember. You don't want to plant a giant red oak 4 feet off your house, because that's going to cause some problems. Same with, you don't want to plant a weeping willow tree on the top of a mound, because they prefer a more damp soil. They naturally grow along creek sides and lakes. So thinking about placement is very important if you're going to have the healthiest tree or plant possible.
A few other things we wanted to highlight today were the fact that IUPUI has been Tree Campus USA certified since 2012, and as of last year we are the largest Adopt-A-Block partner here in the city with Keep Indianapolis Beautiful. So what those two programs mean Tree Campus, we have a tree advisory committee. We plant trees every year and we celebrate Arbor Day each year, which is why we're doing this video series. And then the Adopt a Block partnership, I'll pass over to Jesse here to give more information on what that actually entails.
Hi, Jesse. So, yeah, as part of the largest Adopt a Block captain in Marion County with Keep Campus Beautiful, we've adopted all 68 blocks of campus. So this is just kind of recognizing the work our ground staff do on a daily basis. So that's keeping curbs clean, picking up litter, just helping maintain the visual appeal of the city. Because litter can really make a place look kind of neglected and unwelcoming. So Keep Campus Beautiful has a great product, or I guess partnership with neighborhoods, residents, with the Adopt a Block captains to encourage people to get out, meet your neighbors, help clean up the area you live and take pride in the environment. So with this, they pick up several million tons of litter a year. Campus, we just want to acknowledge the work they do and the work we all do as part of Anchor Institutes in Marion County, and deepen that partnership. Along with being the largest Adopt a Block captain with them, we also partner with them with tree plantings here on campus twice a year. They help with some educational programming for the campus community. We've even used this Adopt a Block program to then try to engage faculty, staff, and students here on campus by allowing them to kind of adopt a part of their own area they reside or around their building.
Hey there, Jags. Thanks for checking out this video in our Arbor Day celebration series. Make sure to follow the Sustainability Office on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at IUPUI Sustain. You'll be able to see some webinars, all of our Earth Month videos, social media takeovers, as well as some sustainability tips and tricks.